I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I just put up a video part one. This will be part two, and I think I've got this as so I can make sure I get one and two. This is about the Tesla files, but it's also about how I came to know about mind control murders and how it was done back then with ham sets at a low level and teaching you the Morse code. It also gets into the murders of how I think it happened. It fits in the patterns, and it does. And I'm not going to try to explain all that on this tape because I'm running out again of space, and God knows I don't want to do that. Um, okay, because Michael Jackson was one of them, and Prince, and I've never said much about Elvis Presley, but that's one that if it's ever told, the timeline and everything, you would see what I'm talking about. Now, let me turn this around because I want to make sure this is tape two, videotape two. Now, here I am. Let me see if I can get this up and talk into it. I understand I'm not getting close enough. But anyway, if I can get back to the end of that first tape. I'm working at Curl Wholesale in Huntsville, just out of high school. Worked there exactly a year, and that was electronics. So in '76, I'm doing the book and about mind control murders. I'd work for doctors, etc. And I'm doing the book, and I was shown how a ham set can be used in mind control. They teach you at a low level, sound level, the Morse code, much like the dog whistle when it can hear it and you can't, the sound. And I'm not going to, I put this up on the other one, I believe. So that's how it started. And you talk about, well, I don't know if it started that way, but that was how I learned about it back in '76. In the ham sets, I had an incident I've just put on the tape when I worked at Curl of George calling on the ham set he was way out in the middle of God knows where, he was in the Navy. So anyway, let me get back to '76. I found out about how it was done. And I was finding out about subliminal. I didn't know anything about subliminal hypnosis, and they claimed to have taken it off the TV. They claimed to have brought MKULTRA in '53 and gave them a slap on the wrist and turned them loose, and here we go. Okay, so you blame the culprits. That's your Congress. Amen on that one. They've all known about my kidnapping, your Secretary of State, your presidents. From Winston Churchill might as well have been your president because he sure went with you on my kidnapping and take down my father. And H.E., you know what? I don't like it, not one bit, and neither should you. It wasn't okay what they did. Anyway, Churchill even came over and stayed in the White House with Roosevelt that helped kidnap me and appointed the Kennedy ambassador, and JFK helped, when I was born, kidnap me and bring to the pigsty in Moulton, Alabama. Now I've said that, let me get back to this. It wasn't okay. Truman became, they were all buddies. And I don't know who else sold out in Great Britain other than Uncle George and Elizabeth and her bunch of friggin' war criminals. That's exactly who they are. They represent the Illuminati. They're illegal. They should be locked up. Now, I understand now. Larry Flint, let me put that in, and I always think that the magazine, he flew me out there during the campaign when one of the doctors I wrote about, Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald, went down in the KAL August the 31st of '83. En route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. 260 plus passengers drowned. The pilot was a seasoned pilot, if you care to go back and see about it. And I think that's, you can still read that if they haven't changed that to fit their means. This globalist government, the Illuminati that came into power after they took my father down and kidnapped me. And I have to say this, I'm not for a globalist government where one set of people can control you. Oh, okay, and that's what they are doing now through the UN, which they manipulated and got after they took my father down, who would not take orders from them, so they installed one that would. And that's the truth. Illegal George VI, they say, oh, he hesitated, he didn't want to take it. The hell he didn't. He took his own, helped take his own brother down, and he sure as heck gave way to help kidnap me. And Elizabeth's always known it. Her mom, forget my mom O'Keefe, right? I hope there's some Irish out there that don't feel that way. Okay? And some Brits. And by the way, I'm not going to say anything else. You know who went in and signed so-called treaties? That was Hillary Clinton, and her husband sent Bennett or whoever. And guess where their daughter went to college in Oxford, at Oxford. Isn't that sweet? And they've been photographed at meetings with the Illuminati, and that's exactly who Hillary and Bill represent, and their little daughter who married seems like all these people, you're not supposed to say Jews. The Jews were the ones that did it to me. They're the ones that control your government. Henry Kissinger, Bloomingdale tapes, I hope they're shown finally what this man was doing. And how would you like to have your, okay, you can guess on this enough. I don't have to go through that. I want to get back to how mind control worked as much as I knew. Violation of civil rights. You don't say you want to be placed under mind control. You don't even know it. So you talk about violation of civil rights. They take away every right you have. They can make, you're a puppet. They make your decisions for you. That's why there's no motive in a lot of these mind control murders. And it doesn't just involve guns and mass shootings at schools. It's unlimited, the power it has, and now it's so they can mind control the world. And I was told this, by the way. I wanted to, after so much had been done to me, I don't know how I was alive. I ended up in Tampa, Florida, as sales secretary, and John Bristol, the manager, he worked for the CIA, or who did he work for? It was one of the agencies. Maisie was the secretary. I was sales secretary. She worked for the CIA. That's who they worked for. Had pictures up there where they're having a drug thing in the White House. Drug agency was there, and President Carter was president then. It showed his picture and had him on there, and Maisie, I believe, and John Bristol. Anyway, I'm down there, and what's my point I was going to make? It's not funny. I don't remember the point I was going to make now. So let me get back and just get off this morning. I'm tired, and I'm not sure I'm doing any good. I've tried, and I certainly hope that I clear my father's name, and I get to go home. And all this is told, and some people finally, and maybe there's God, and He sees to the rest of it, okay? Anyway, so I'm just going to get to this. Mind control, my understanding, can be done now with simple as computers. Now, where it goes from when you've got the computer, I don't know. You would think they would have to know the people they put chips in, or maybe it's easier than that. You don't have to have the chip in them. I don't know what you have to have to program people. You would have to have access, and what I've been telling, it's done in patterns, so you would have to have some kind of name and social security, and well, there you go. Because they chip them way back, babies. when they're born, much less when they have to go in when they're 2 years old and have tonsillectomies prescribed for them, and they come out. Okay, you got it. So you can hide your head in the sand all you want to. It's happened. It's happening, and it's not going to get any better. Um, Whether you want to hear it or not. And I've been told, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to live. Well, I've been told, yeah, we know what's going on. We believe you, but we want to live our life as long as we can and our children. And so we don't want to hear it. They put their head in the sand. So now then, I wanted to tell about this one. I've never said much about it. Michael Jackson. And I'm not going to. He fits in the patterns. It's not funny. I laugh. It's not a laugh because it's really, really funny. I try to get through this because a lot of people hate me for even telling it, or hey, listen to this. They hate me because I was kidnapped. I didn't control my kidnapping. I wish I could have. I would have been with my mom and dad. And their grandchildren they might not have been born then, I guess. But anyway, you get the gist. There's other things involved in a timeline here with Michael Jackson. All I'm going to say here is that it is as easy as what I'm talking about, making puppets out of people and hypnosis, mind control, that he doesn't know he's getting. He's been chipped. I'm assuming that on this one, and really I'm not, I'm pretty sure. And he can be told to not sleep. He can be given the command to not sleep, and he can't go to sleep. You've got to give another deprogram him. You've got to give the hypnotic command to let him sleep again. And that's a scary thought. That's why people should have gone to the media, and when they didn't do things right, which they're a bunch of liars, every friggin' one of them, and they're controlled by the Illuminati that kidnapped me, so they're going to tell you, the Rockefellers. Oh, I'm surprised that CBS has whistleblowers on, which is for once a great thing. Whistleblower, other than being a kidnap victim in the Monarch, was who I am. And they're telling about what happens to whistleblowers. Most of them are very honest, trying to do the right thing, and they get no thanks whatsoever. When they step in and change things, people don't appreciate it. It's a very odd thing. And a lot of them give up so much to do what they do. Now then, I said Michael Jackson, and I told about that. But I'm not going to go into any others. I think there were some other things I wanted to put up on this one. Elvis Presley, if that one is ever put up, you can see that one plain, how it connects. Well, I'm losing my train of thought here, trying to go back and forth in this, and I'm not. There's no timeline trying to put it on some of it, trying to make it anyway. Elvis, and that was, when was he killed? 1976. So I guess I better stop here. I'm losing my train of thought. I did want to say this: in March of '80, just before they almost killed me. I mean, that was, in essence, they did so much it would you'd have to know how they did it, and it was horror. I had called prior to going to trying to get to Abilene because John's sister had promised if I come out there she'd help me get a job. I could stay a couple of weeks, and she was CPA and all that, so if I got a job I could move out there and I could get my boys out there because Mark and Scott, so much was happening to us. And I had the letter from the FBI and had done the book, and I thought it was because of the book. It was in '83, late after the campaign, I found out about my real name and who my father and mother are. But on the way, and This was about why is the 8th? I got the letter from one of the letters from the FBI, handwritten in red, Agent Guest. That was the May the 8th of 79, so excuse me. I'm going back to 80. So that was, I was on the way out to Abilene, and I called from Huntsville, and I was getting a private detective. I already had a Marshall Carnwright over in Atlanta that my husband had brought in and introduced to me. And he was the one telling me he knew all about Martha Mitchell. He didn't elaborate because I already was trying to put that together. They killed her. Oh my God. So anyway, anyway, later I found out that Marshall Carnwright was U.S. Marshal. I stayed in their house. I believe it's the fall of 82. I'm not sure. It was when the Wayne Williams trial was going on in Atlanta, and Mary Welcome had said she was going to send someone, an attorney, to do a deposition, and I was almost killed again after working for the district attorney Fred Simpson in 80, May of 80 till after Martin David Chapman was killed. Not Martin David Chapman, he shot John Lennon, excuse me. Okay, before I lose my train of thought here, and I'm going to have to get off because I'm going back and telling stuff that I can't, it's mixed up and it's not anyway, that easy to go back and think of it. Well, I guess, okay, his name, the private detective I called before finishing and going on out to, I thought I was going to meet Laura Mae Childers Klein. She got me out there under false pretenses. When I got back, they tried to kill me, and then, get this, she and Mrs. Childers and that family went to the wedding of John. They tried to kill me, the new wife and the doctors. There was Hardiman, there was Beecham, there was Gonzalez, there was, I can't remember the doctor that was at the emergency room when I went and tried to find out what had been put in me to see if they could neutralize or something. What was his name? He was way up in the state of Georgia, so renowned and everything. And later, after I didn't die, the hospital, West Pacers Ferry, said, well, he wasn't even supposed to be there. He's not on their staff. Therefore, their hands are clean. I can go fly a kite. So, okay, now then, on the way out there, so this would have been in March, early March of 1980. I turned around and come back because I got out there, and Laura said, you're no longer welcome. Called her from Mesquite outside Dallas. So I turn around and go back, and okay, on the way out there, though, this is what happened on the way out there. I stopped in Huntsville, and I called Dutch Holland. He was an attorney I found in the phone book. And then later, when I worked for the district attorney, he worked for the district attorney some. So anyway, I'm talking to him here, and he's telling me that, well, I believe you, is what he was saying. He said, I had a woman call me on the phone, and she was trying to get a divorce, and she thought her husband was trying to kill her, and she got off the phone, and she committed suicide. So he's talking about mind control. He knows all about it. So I'm going to leave that there. So it's widespread now, and I'm sure there's another something I was going to say here. First of all, you have to tell about it and get it stopped. Can you imagine? I'm going to get back to this, and then I'm going to stop. I'm sure I'm leaving something out I should have